So if
I
you're
hit it.
looking
Okay,
dumb
I
like
hit the
always,
button.
okay.
You can see it's backwards. You can see the red thing up here. That means that you guys at home you can't see it, but Jim and I can see it. And we have our fabulous guest here, Mark. Mark is from Boondock Echo. If you
Did I
haven't
hear
seen the
Boondock
thumbnail,
Echo?
did I hear Boondock
I
Echo?
think I heard Boondock Echo.
Oh, I
I
see what
think
you
I
did
heard
there.
Boondock Echo. There was no forethought, no pre-planning went into that whatsoever. Totally natural, right off the cuff. So yeah, so we're working on a new StreamYard here. Jim doesn't have full privileges yet because StreamYard is expensive. It's like $700 a year to use StreamYard to remove their meatball from the corner and put my meatball up there instead, where it says real-time ham radio. And it's kind of it does some other stuff too. It's a useful tool, but man, is it expensive.
It used to be a lot cheaper. They have certainly taken advantage of a captive audience.
And they
There's
sneak the price up on you too.
there's other platforms that do
Yeah.
this kind of thing, but it's like once you get used to using this one, then you have to relearn a new platform. And if you're doing this on a regular basis, like Steve and I both are doing 2 or 3 live streams a week,
It's
like,
easy.
no, don't move the cheese. Leave the wheel exactly where it is. I can find the water dish this way.
Yeah. Congratulations, Richie. Richie is
Richie.
the gentleman that won the radio last time.
Ooh.
Sweet. Way
So
to
we
go.
actually got him a radio and then he passed his test. So he's on his way to fame and glory, fortune and glory. And this is
And
Tom.
women.
Tom, Mr. Not Tom Watson, Tom Waters. Thank you very much, Tom. Much
Tom,
appreciated.
I had to tell him what your real name was again because he keeps forgetting.
Tom knows. Tom knows that he's Watson. He's just trying to tell everybody else his name is wrong.
Florida Tom. That's what I call him.
I know that name. I know Tom.
Awesome. Tom, Mark, Tom. Glad you guys have reacquainted yourselves with each other. So speaking of, there's a bunch of people in Green Text, like my friend Jeff here. People in Green Text are members. I want to give a big shout out to you guys and say thank you. And this is the beginning of a new month, so you get a new membership milestone super chat. It's a freebie. You push the button like you were going to actually pay for one, and it gives you the option to give you one for free. That's one of the membership perks. There's a couple other ones you got to join in order to know what they are, and that button is below the video. And I did say Boondock Echo.
I heard Boondock Echo.
He did hear me. So that's what we're going to work on today. This thing is the best way I can describe it, and forgive me for butchering your baby here, is it's an answering machine for ham radio. You can come home at the end of the day and catch up on all the stuff that you missed on the repeater when you were away from all of that gripping stuff. And there's a lot of reasons why you would want to use something like this besides just the answering machine function, but that is one of the cool functions. And we'll get deeper into it. I just want to go through like the whole intro of the show thing before we get too far into all the features, and Mark's going to be a better elevator pitcher than I am.
Sure.
Normally on the show, we don't know what we're doing, and that's probably still the case tonight, but we being Jim and I don't know what we're doing here. But Mark, being the creator of this thing, one of the creators on the team of awesome people that made this thing, actually knows what he's doing. So we're going to get like a lot of extra behind the scenes information, and we might even, if time allows, actually put the thing together, because Mark, I'm sure, has some in his hands, and I've got one in my hands here, and we're going to give you all the information on how you can get one. It's just a bunch of parts off of Amazon, load some software, and then there is a monthly subscription that goes along with it if you are so inclined. So we're going to go through what that parts list is as we go through the show. We have a ham licensing session. It is the 4th Monday of the month. There is a link in the description down below on where to go to sign up for that, I believe. I hope I put it there. If not, I'll do it after the show. And it's right before this show. If you do pass your test, then we will celebrate how awesome you are during the show. We had 2 people pass last time.
Woo!
And so we celebrated them. And if you would like to become a volunteer examiner, there's also a link for that down below. And I believe my buddy Frank is dropping those in the chat as we're talking, but my chat wasn't scrolling. Yes, he is. Thank you, Frank. And you have to tell them that somebody sponsored you. Somebody believes that you are smart enough to be a volunteer examiner, and they let us do it. So of course you're smart enough to do it. So put in my call sign, put in Jim's call sign, or if you want, you can put in Steve's call sign from Ham Radio Clubhouse, or whatever.
I mean, if you're going for the minimum flair, then KO4AFL will work. But
yeah, Jerry, thank you.
We have 4 calls. I'm just saying, and he's got a 6 call, so
And even John will do it. John was actually doing a VE session the other day while he was trying to listen to me on KC Wide. I was doing a guest appearance on a digital radio net. That was pretty fun. So thank you, John. I've now added something new to the repertoire of Ham Nuggets. The first Monday of every month, we're going to do a Q&A. We're 2 in. May and June are done. We got July coming up. There is a link for that down below, and Frank's going to drop it too. Thank you, Frank. And put your question in. Use the form because it gives us a lot of extra context. And as we learn more about context that we forgot to ask you for, then we will also update the form to give you that extra context information. And that will help us answer that question faster, because we used to do it where you'd ask the question in the chat and we'd say, well, how high? And then we'd wait for the 15-second delay from YouTube comments to be over with, and then be able to answer the question. Chris, we finished TNCs like a long time ago. Where you been, buddy?
Chris, press star.
Right, press star. And then what do we got? We have a giveaway tonight. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Maybe you can figure it out by the link that Frank's going to drop. And if you're a winner, awesome. And if you're not, then you can go buy one and use it. I love what we're giving away. This is the antenna I'm actually FT8ing with right now. Speaking of, let me wake it back up, enter the contact, start a new session. Okay, I'm totally not FT8ing while I'm not paying attention. And I'm also in a POTA park, so I'm doing that too. So like 17 things at once. And then something that I just thought of here recently, Field Day is coming up, and we happen to kind of be a news media outlet. So there is a bonus point for getting your stuff mentioned in a public-facing news media outlet. So drop it in the chat. If we see it, we will call it out. Even if we don't see it, you still dropped it in the chat. It still got seen by the public. I think that still counts. And you can screenshot that and submit it as your proof for the points if anybody wants to argue with you. And I got your back. I'll argue with you too. So, Mark, what is Boondock Echo and why do you need it?
I'm glad you asked. So Boondock Echo is an answering machine, but it's so much more. It is optionally internet connected. So it will sit there and listen and transcribe, translate in up to 40 different languages, denoise. You can set keywords such as your call sign, and it'll sit there and listen for those keywords. And then it will send you either an email or an SMS alert. You can also link it through IFTTT, if this, then that, to do pretty much anything. So yes, somebody said Boondock Echo, George.
Boondock Echo.
So let's say, for example, you're traveling through the rough hills of Iowa and a tornado alert goes out. Well, your radio is going to automatically tune to the weather station or whatever, but you're somewhere off and about and you don't have it near you. You can set up tornado alert, tornado warning, and it will email you. It will SMS text you and say, hey, listen, this message just came in. It had your keyword in it. It will send you the audio link to that and let you know. So it's a whole lot more than your grandpa's answering machine. But that is really the way it started, was the answering machine. And then I have an excellent co-founder, KC and Jesse. And KC's like, hey, let's hook it up to AI. And he codes really well and really fast. So it just took minutes. You mentioned earlier subscriptions, and I wanted to share with the ham community what we're trying to do. We have more capacity than we necessarily need right now for transcription. So what we're trying to do is open up all of the stuff that previously was in our paid subscription packages and just opening it up to you in a queue-based system. So our paid customers will, the transcriptions and everything will happen first, and then the free customers, so it'll be a few more seconds delay, but you'll still get the features, you'll get more features, and you can do it for free or the $5 a month level.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's actually very generous, I think. I mean, so you have 60 minutes in an hour. Out of that, you have 59 and a half minutes worth of paid subscribers. That other 30 seconds goes to hams. And I'm making numbers up. I'm not saying truth here, but like to give you kind of an idea, everybody that pays will play first. Makes sense. Seems fair. Yeah. And then anything that's left over, why let it go to waste? Why not give it to some deserving ham? That's awesome. Doc Brad, thank you.
Doc.
Brad,
I don't know that I want to say that out loud.
Can I get a text when to turn on 80 meters?
Yeah. And he actually is a doctor. So yeah, like He could almost do that to himself.
I mean, there are jokes there, but I don't know what's allowed on your YouTube channel, and I don't want to get you defunded.
Anything. We're past the 8-minute mark, so anything goes.
All right, quick question for you, Dr. Brad. Do you know the difference between an oral and a rectal thermometer? It's the taste. I'll be here all week.
There it is. Yeah. Thank you, Doc.
Doc, both y'all killing me. Mark and Doc, wow, you two would be a blast together.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he got it. Got it in one.
He did.
So does that answer your questions on kind of the broad strokes of what this thing is?
It does. And if anybody in the chat has a question, anybody watching at home has a question, drop it in, and
I will star it.
We'll start. We'll take some breaks every so often to go over starred messages. We did have a couple, and so
ADHD asked a question earlier.
So Mark was telling me that there aren't currently any available, which is why we're doing it this way. I'm not stealing his thunder and giving away the keys to the kingdom here.
Yes and no. What we're trying to do for our ham friends, right? We want this to be as low a barrier of entry to you as possible. Our customer base is going to be commercial. I can sell to one company and sell 10 of these devices, or I can sell to one person and sell one. So we're trying to go for the I don't want to say money. The better healed customers, just so we can survive as a company. You do.
Brothers gotta eat. You can't eat love and
don't be ashamed to create something of value and receive value for it, is what I always try to tell people. And honestly, in a business context, I think this is awesome. Like, if I was running a business radio system, I would want this, and I would want it archived forever. Like, I want to tell me 7 years ago what this guy said on the radio, because somebody's got a lawsuit.
This is something like they had at the sheriff's office, right? Yes. Because they were dispatching us and the cops. You know, they could play back the radio. They had some capacity, and I think they kept recordings for quite a while. But
absolutely,
absolutely playing back.
But absolutely, but wouldn't it be cooler if instead of having to call dispatch, you could just do it on your phone? You could just pull up your phone, and it would connect to your local speaker mic, and your Boondock Echo's in there, and you could just say, what was the last transmission? You're busy talking to a victim of some whatever. Crime, you turn off your radio so you can be respectful, hearing about the trauma that's been in their life, and you're like, well, what if you miss something? What if it's important? You can go back. Right now, there's no time shift in radio. If you're not sitting in front of the receiver when the message comes through,
right,
it's gone.
Well, my point was, this brings that kind of capability to the average.
Oh, yeah.
The average person,
and
or for the average company,
and for a really low price. The way that we have this thing set up on the parts list that we'll share with you, or it's probably already in the show notes. You can actually get started with this for $20 on, nice. If you forgetting about the 3D printed case or whatever, and that's whatever country you're in. You can get it from AliExpress, you can get it from Amazon, you can get it from eBay. These little boards are all over the place. And you can at least try it in the receive only. Now, you do need some extra circuitry. We're trying to come up with a deal with Maker Fabs so you guys can buy that. The tariffs thing has just been a nightmare. We're just kind of right now sitting it out. We will have some units to sell on the 23rd. We'll also hopefully have a new website launch that week. And we've got some new things too, in addition to the Echo, which is meant for radio connection, by the way. It can connect to scanners or radios. We've got the Boondock Tango, which is just meant for scanners. We've got a controller. We wrote some software that allows you to remotely control and change the frequency that your scanners listen to. And we'll be announcing all of that on the 23rd. If you want a sneak peek, you can go to new.boondockecho.com. But don't tell anybody I told you. That's just for us friends here. So we're still cleaning all that up and getting some software ready. And if anybody's out there just has a ton of audio and they need it transcribed, NPR's got 100 years of audio, give us a call. We are confident we can do this cheaper than any other company out there, and better.
And that would also fully index it and everything, not just transcription, but search. So 100 years worth of audio that's searchable in seconds, as opposed to 100 years worth of audio that's transcribed in good luck.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
And
awesome.
the way that we have it set up is that everything is time indexed. So if you're reading the transcript, you can click on a word and it'll start playing the audio at that word.
I don't know if this is blasphemous or not, but kind of like the Bible. You can just give me book, chapter, and verse, and
Yes.
I can hit play and hear it.
Yes.
But it's NPR, right, Tom? Yeah. I still don't want to hear it.
I was using NPR as an example. We'll take money from anybody.
Right. It's all green. It all spins. I like it all.
Yeah. If it's Fox News, I'm a Republican. If it's NPR, I'm a Democrat. I don't care. I just want the cash.
I'm your Huckleberry. We do movie quotes here, by the way, so you're welcome to drop any movie quote and hope we get it. And I know you have a few.
Well, Johnny Ringo, you look like you've just seen a ghost.
You've just hit one of our favorite movies ever.
Yes.
Huh? Christ almighty, it's like I'm sitting here playing cards with my brother's kids or something. You nerve-wracking sons of bitches.
Billy Bob Thornton.
I needed that drink break. Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But he was fat in that movie. I watched that the other day. I'm like, holy moly, Billy Bob Thornton was fat, and now he's like skinny.
Yeah, I watched him in Landman was the last thing I've seen him in, which is a
he's
great
super
show
skinny.
if you haven't seen it. And I don't think they could pick anybody better to play his character.
So, Jim, you said you had some web pages queued up for sharing. You want to start walking through those, and we'll talk about
Yeah,
them?
so I've got the main Boondock, main Boondock Echo page pulled up here. And this teases me with buy now. And so I click this, and then it takes me to this.
Okay.
And I want to buy it now on stream right now.
So I think we just sold the last three a few days ago. So when we first did this, we did it as a crowdfunding campaign, and we shipped a couple hundred of them to Mouser, and they were sold through there. Once we sold out of those, we've been working towards transitioning to selling them ourselves. Mouser was great. Crowd Supply
Echo.
Crowd Supply was
Crowd
great
Supply,
to work with,
that's it.
but they weren't really. I think they're understaffed. Like when we got their attention, they were fabulous. When we didn't, they weren't, and we weren't getting a whole lot of advertising. So we said, if we're doing, and we haven't really done much work in advertising yet, but if we're going to do this work, putting a sticker on these things and mailing them isn't that hard. We might as well do it ourselves at this point. So that's what we've decided to do, and keep a third of the price for us. Again, though, you don't need to buy it. What you're looking at on the screen is the version 1. The box you held up was the version 2. It's the same electronic hardware with a nicer sticker on the front.
And
It's
so
got one of those
on
fancy
the GitHub,
QR
it has
codes.
all the information about it.
Yes. So Boondock Echo and Boondock Tango, they're both completely open source. We've got all the design files. You could take and rip this off from us right now. The part where you'd get screwed is keeping the servers running is hard work.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything that you need is there. You could take any of this and take it to Maker's Fab and go nuts. The Boondock Tango is so the Boondock Echo is something that you have to build. The Boondock Tango is completely commercial off the shelf hardware. And 3D printed designs that will take and accept a Uniden Bearcat, either like the BC125 AT or the BCD 325 P2 scanner. It'll snap right in and hold it tight. I've got one right here, and I'm sorry about the blur, but listen to this. This is great. Oh, isn't that nice?
Oh, that's satisfying.
So this holds all of the hardware in the case behind it.
So that's really made just for the handheld scanner, not for something like a 996 or a
that 3D printed
SDS
case
200.
is, yeah. But you don't need the 3D printed case.
But I don't need the case. I could just do the guts, right?
Right. So for you, we've got another one. I've got to bend down here and open a drawer.
Good thing you're not a plumber.
Yeah, right.
Keep the show PG-13.
I think it's also so cute how Mark has his background blurred out because our background
because we're not messy hams.
So clean and non-distracting either.
I can I can turn off. I'm not proud. I was just trying to be
I
polite.
mean, now if you've got bodies or something back there, you
Oh,
keep the
look at
blur
that.
on, son. But
Oh, that is
It's
sexy.
a workshop.
yeah,
So
You just went up 3 dB.
man cave.
No,
Man
look
cave.
at that. 6.
No woman approved there.
no,
Absolutely not.
you can't fit one in. It's too small a space. I can, touch either wall. But you'll just have a small. This isn't the actual case for the thing, but this is the closest one I have. But it's just a small little box, and you would plug your radio right into that, and
Okay.
that would be it. This guy is meant to be self-contained, strictly for the Bearcat, the BCD 325 PT or the BC 125 AT, and it'll hold the electronics inside and just keep everything nice and tidy. And remember, we also created software that lets us control those scanners. So you can be on your phone and wherever, and you can say, hey, I want to listen to police now. I want to listen to fire. I want to listen to whoever. And yeah, I don't have to blur my background. My house is empty.
Right.
You know what they say about, messy desks and messy minds, and
That's right.
empty houses and empty minds. I'm just throwing shade out there on whoever the heck the poor guy posting that.
We call him Hamstick, so you can just kind of
Hamstick.
Hamstick Eric. Infer from there. He likes ham sticks.
Who doesn't?
His name is Eric.
Same as
Well,
Eric.
we know some people that don't, but I can't for the life of me understand why you would not like an antenna that works.
Yeah. Ken Lewis got a great point. He can find what he needs in a second.
Yes. That's usually the part that surprises people when they see this, and they're like, well, hey, I need a whatever. I'm like, okay. Oftentimes I don't even have to move my chair. It's, just.
Listen, now I got to say, I got a tuner that I can't find. I mean, I had it in my hand a couple of weeks ago, and it has disappeared from my domicile. And it's like it's never left this house. I know it's here.
You know what scares me?
I think she hides stuff from me just to make me think I'm going crazy.
She could. I would do that. But you know what scares me is when I haven't moved and I lose something.
Yes.
Absolutely. Just like this was in my hand a moment ago. It's not anymore. And you know what it invariably is?
Ooh.
Fat Ollie testing gravity.
That's right. That's right.
I think I see Joe Brett's ATAS in the background.
That's kind of an inside joke where Jim shipped an antenna to him and it never arrived.
UPS ate it.
I like it, Jody.
I mean, actually, we shipped an empty box, and it hasn't arrived. And yeah.
Sorry, somebody's hamstickless.
Right. Because that's all that ATAS is a glorified ham stick.
I still don't know where the tuner's at.
It'll show up eventually. Is the tuner
usually
in the
after
room
you
with
buy
right
a replacement?
Now? Yeah, that's usually what brings him out of hiding.
That tuner's not only in the room with him right now; it knows what he did last summer.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So what was the question we were posing? Oh, Tango versus Echo. Okay, so here's the deal. Echo lets you transmit on radios as well. We've got a couple safeguards in place. But if you only want to receive, Tango's fine. And the minimum cost of entry for a Tango is $20 for this audio kit thing that's down in the links down there.
Okay.
Most of our hams, in fact, I would say all but I only know of 2 hams who have ever transmitted with the Boondock Echo. The places where people are transmitting is the commercial space. Because we can integrate with fire suppression systems and all this other fancy stuff. Or we can have somebody in English say, I need workers to go over to building A, and then it'll come through the radios in Filipino because the workers speak. I don't know what language. What language is that? That's not Tagalog. I don't know what language it is.
That's Tagalog.
It is Tagalog.
Yeah, it's Tagalog.
Tagalog. Okay, that's how you pronounce it. So
it's either that or Tagalog.
That's how Jim pronounces it. Yeah.
No, I think it's Tagalog because I
think
was
that sounds
watching
right.
Something.
I think that's I knew it wasn't Tagalog. I was like, that's not. But anyways,
those are cookies.
That's Tagalong, but close enough.
That's what I heard.
To be pedantic,
right?
So for most of
Oh,
our
another
hams,
TO. Welcome.
yeah, for most of our hams, they're not transmitting with this, which is fine.
As a ham, I would not probably want to transmit with it because I have a collection of radios.
Yeah.
This would be like sitting somewhere dedicated doing its thing.
Right.
And
So,
yes, I mean, I get it.
So if you want to give us money on the 23rd, we'll take it. I'm just saying, we've got a newer, simpler way for you now. If all you want to do is listen, or you want to monitor a bank of channels, a bank of frequencies, you can do it for the far cheaper option, building your own Boondock Tango, which isn't a good business spot for me. But if you also look at it from my perspective, if I sell you something, I have to put in a lot of work and I get profit from you once. If you go build your own, you put in the work and I get profit from you, hopefully monthly. But again, you guys, and again, we're happy to take your money, but you're not really what we're focused on. We're doing this because we love hams. And what we're hoping is that you're also working in a commercial space and then you give us money that way. So that's how we're meeting some people, is through the hams, because a lot of you guys enjoy radios at home and you have radios at work. We want to talk to your work friends.
All right. We got a couple questions.
I was going to say, let's do the questions up.
I'm here for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Ronnie's asking, is this because this is an ESP32? Can it use LoRa?
No. I know what you're thinking about. We've made absolutely no attempts to interact with Meshtastic or anything like that. So LoRa is long range WAN, and typically the way you do that is lowering data rates and increasing error correction. And no, we're fast. We want to get that data uploaded as fast as possible to the thing. So this is a typical Wi-Fi device as far as that type of thing's concerned. It's like your Apple Fire Cube or anything else. It needs to be within a reasonable distance to your routers and have access to it to get the full capabilities. It's also completely fine, completely offline. It'll just sit there and record. There's still a web interface you can access on your phone, but
local web interface.
But it can't transcribe. Oh, since you speak local, I never mentioned our edge servers. So something else we'll be announcing too is you don't actually have to use our servers. We can sell you an edge server as well. So the Boondock Echo is not powerful enough by itself to do any audio transcriptions. To do that would have made the cost just huge. It would have ballooned. We didn't want to do that. So what we have is that, and then, oh, there's my Tango that I had prepped. Oh,
it's right next to your cache.
It probably is. It's probably next to that antenna that everybody's looking for. Okay,
Eric, I can't repeat that.
I'll find it. I'll find it later. But then there's a little box or a server or whatever it is. We can do your transcription locally. Your data never has to leave your house. Although that isn't free. You've got to spend a few, several $100s to invest in that hardware.
Jody, our resident Canadian snark master, is asking, is decoding CTCSS tones possible?
Not on our device. So
okay.
Your radio is going to have to decode that.
Because this hooks into the radio. The radio will handle all the
radio handles
RF exchange. Yeah.
Exactly. So well, I want to clarify. Our Boondock controller, our scanner controller can talk to your scanner and get the CTCSS tones out of that, but that's not this device. This device is only looking at the audio that's coming out over the speaker mic interface.
Right. And it's really, I mean, it really is just a straight cable. So you can see the Baofeng connector, the K connector on one side, and the tip ring sleeve connector on the other side. So if you can shove audio into this thing, I'm sure it'll happily just munch it away.
It absolutely will. And we use the DigiRig standard, the cable standard. So anything that'll plug into a DigiRig, which is pretty much every radio, will work with the Boondock Echo with a different cable.
So yeah, get your Retevis RT95, get the DigiRig cable for the Retevis RT95, plug it into the Boondock Echo instead of plugging it into the DigiRig.
Right. If you want to transmit. If you don't want to transmit, just a standard, you're going to find on, when you do this, there's an audio in, a standard 3.5 millimeter tip ring sleeve. You can just plug it right in there.
Nice. So I wanted to show some of the parts that if you are interested, if you're impatient and can't wait, or you like to DIY, then I've got a list of parts for you in the description. This is the ESP32 Arduino. Arduino. I don't know why they're trying to steal the Arduino name, I think, and it might just be a typo. I don't know. But this one is the special one that is needed for this project because it has the extra features above and beyond the normal ESP32 stuff. Like if you did a KB4P radio, you've got an ESP32, but you don't have this form factor. The ESP32 is the little chip down here on the bottom, and that thing sticking off the edge of the circuit board is the antenna for Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. And then you need these buttons and headers and things, and especially this pin header down here in order to make some progress. These audio headers and so on are where the magic comes in to make this thing work.
Yeah. Oh, I will say one thing though. Show that picture again for people making their own. And this is probably in our notes, but I just want to point it out. See, there's two microphones on the board.
Yeah, right there and right there.
Yeah, that one, that the first one you pointed to, is the one that we actually can take audio from. There's a little push to talk button. You can actually talk and it'll come to us. That other one will just record the whole time. So that other one, you just desolder it or just grab a pair of pliers and just rip it off the board.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're going to be sending your life to us and we don't want to hear it.
Oh, that could be awkward.
Awkward. Okay, so we have a speaker to go with it. You get a lovely 2-pack, but you only really need one because it's not putting out stereo because it ain't getting stereo.
You're right.
But $10.99, and the reason why you get two is because it probably costs more to ship a half-empty box than a full box, a totally full box.
And really, the only thing you need is that something with that JST connector. So if you've got another speaker that isn't too big, it'll plug in. It's not going to matter.
Yeah. I mean, it's ham audio. It's not necessarily you're not doing the wedding march for your daughter's wedding.
Right.
Doesn't matter how good it sounds. Some ribbon cable here to connect some devices together, and some ribbon cable connectors.
So everything you're showing now is only if you want to control the radio.
Okay, cool.
If you're fine with receive only, the only thing you need is that first board that you saw.
The Arduino board. Oh, yeah, awesome.
Audio board. Everything else that you're showing is stuff you have to get so that we can connect to the radio. Well, except for micro USB. We do need power and data communication for this thing.
Right. And so this is micro USB because that's what's on the ESP32 board that is needed for this job.
Correct.
Not because, we're too cheap to afford USB-C connectors. We've got nothing to do with that. And of course, go down to your favorite gas station and get your USB cable from the proper source. But, if you're too lazy to go down to the gas station, then Amazon's good enough for you.
Yeah.
And then an SD card. This one here is the SD card that my buddy Carlos recommends. And was it not sharing out the whole time? Oh, no.
No,
it swapped when I...
Yeah. Okay, I see it.
Way too big. So
it is, but they're $35. So get this one and then use one of your old cheap ones.
There you go. Okay, that works.
Yeah.
The maximum.
But I wanted to say, go ahead. The maximum you can.
The maximum size we can access is 32 gigabyte.
Okay. So what I wanted to say is this is the one that my buddy Carlos uses to jump out of airplanes with. So when it says pro grade, like he actually, when he takes people out, he has to film the flight for them because they paid extra for it. And you only get one chance to film that one flight that you took out of the airplane in your tandem jump, or he's got to give you a flight at his cost, I'm sure. And it's, $300 or $400 that he doesn't want to lose because his SD card crapped out on him. So that's why I recommend this thing as the card to get, because Carlos recommended it, and I trust Carlos.
Cool. Okay, how are we doing on?
We have 26 minutes.
Okay, so
now,
Jim, I was looking at comments.
Oh.
So Jody, the dominant ham format of 2025. So here's the thing. We designed a brand new fancy spanking board and it had USB-C, and it had a real-time clock, and it had all of this stuff. And we ordered it from China, and we got a board full of counterfeit components, and some of them worked, some didn't. And we had to just trash the batch. That's why we reverted back to the development board, the audio kit, because it's open source and it works. They're the ones who used micro USB. We just use their board. We're mostly a technology, a software company, not a hardware one, although we do know how to design hardware. There is a monthly plan right now. When that new website goes live, you're going to see a discount for an annual plan. We haven't decided yet if we're going to do 2 months or 20%, but yes, there will be a decent discount.
Nasser, I think, yeah, Mark, you want to touch that one? I think we kind of covered that, but
it doesn't have to have, it will record without internet, and then you can upload all the files later, but it needs internet for the advanced features such as transcribe, translate. All of that is done in the cloud. It's too expensive to do on device.
And Sean had a question.
We do have some fire department partners. Yes and no. Yes, in testing. No, we haven't tested anywhere near thoroughly enough where we would ever release that to the public yet. But if you have a fire department that's interested, we're happy to work with you, and we will do a memorandum of understanding where you know that you can't use this for emergency purposes, but you can play with it.
Some of us,
and that's just to bypass the legal.
Some of us are retired from the fire department that is 1 mile down the road and still monitor it on our scanners every day. Ooh. And know the two tones by memory. For all 8 county stations. So if you need someone to help you test it, I could be available.
Well, thank you. To answer your question, it's not just legal BS. It is one of those things where we haven't put enough time and effort into it yet.
Oh yeah. Don't sue me because you decided to make your life depend on this relatively affordable gadget. If it's going to be a life dependable type thing, it's going to cost a lot more money.
It is, but we do have fire department partners, and in fact, one of us sent us a picture today, which I don't know if I need permission to share it first, but they were training their department members how to use Boondock Echo because they're going to use it to generate their incident reports after calling.
Nice.
Their action reports.
That's awesome.
And just drag everything in, and So
that is very awesome. Like you could just take the transcribe with the timestamps and feed it into ChatGPT and say, please create a boilerplate after action report for this, and then it'll fill in the specific stuff that it can get from that transcript, and then you can go back and add in the extra stuff that you know. Thank you very much, Lee.
Do you want me to tell you the secret of why this would be a godsend to every fire department in the world? At least the volunteer side, which is where I come from. Mm-hmm. I cannot count how many times somebody calls back. Our dispatch was the sheriff's office. And so they would dispatch us to a call somewhere. And I cannot count how many times somebody, either in my department or one of the other departments, would call back and ask for the address again after they've already dispatched it. And they're dispatching 8 county fire departments and the sheriff's office. So it's not like they ain't got nothing to do, right? Write it down, take a note, whatever. This would be so awesome. If
you just key up the mic and say address again, please, and it knows who you are from your radio ID, and then it gives back the address that you were given.
We're sending MDC radio ID, so it's in the data stream for the radio call. And hey, knucklehead, it's 123 Dipstick Street or whatever it was. Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, he said dipstick.
I did.
I changed that one mid-word.
I mean, every fire department meeting is NC-17 pretty much.
Right.
Your mom liked it that way, so, whatever.
Right. Lee gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much. And unfortunately, only 4 of those went out because Lee got one of his own. And Lee, I thought you were already a member, but welcome back. But thank you very much.
Let me see who got those. Geekiest Guy got one. Lee gifted himself. Ham Radio Frank got one.
Awesome.
Doc Adams, N3IM got one, and Jeff Wingett, Jeff, I hope I said your last name right, got one.
Nice. And then, Jim, you put up the code word for the giveaway.
And several people have been putting it in there whenever we need to use it.
So this is for the 17-foot width from Chameleon, brand new. in the case. Chameleon sent this in and said, please give these things away. And so we're gonna do that thing. And this is the 17-foot whip. It is good resonant on 20 meters and up. And I think it goes all the way up to 2 meters when I say resonant on 20 and up.
Oh my goodness!
It collapses down to like 18 inches. So give it a little extra, and you've got 2 meters. And yeah, continental U.S. because I got to pay for shipping, unless you wanted to pay for shipping yourself. Yeah. So free dingus it is.
Very cool.
And it's one of the stronger whips that's out there. It's definitely much stronger than the MFJ whip, and it's much stronger than the JPC whips that are out there. They're all good whips, but like if the MFJ whip falls over, I can talk bad about MFJ. May they rest in peace. If the MFJ whip falls over, it's going to not survive. If this thing falls over, there's an even 50-50 chance, probably a little bit higher, that it's going to survive. But I'm not testing it because I use it a lot and I like it.
What's the thread at the base? Is that an M10 or 3/8?
This is 3/8 24, and there's like thousands of things that work with 3/8 24. I'm actually working on a mount that's going to go on the wall behind me, and I have it, but I don't have it quick enough to reach for. And that will allow me to, screw in any 3/8 24 antenna that I can get my hands on, and then unscrew it and drive down the road. In case you don't know, I live in an RV, so well, you do know that. We talked about it. So I can't set up an antenna. And I talked about this yesterday on the net. If you're a weekender full-time RV type, if you're a weekender person instead of a full-time RV type person, you can get to the campsite on Friday. You can set your antenna up. You can enjoy playing radio all weekend long. I got here Sunday, and I knew they were going to cut the grass today, and they cut the grass today. So I put my antenna up to do a Parks on the Air activation, took it back down, put it back up, and that would fix it. Guy's going to try and win twice in one stream.
Ooh.
It's been known to happen. Yes, Elsie, I live in an RV. You've seen the RV that I live in.
Steve, the people, no, it is not me, Hamstick.
No, it's me.
Okay. Yeah, I hear FT8, and I know I'm innocent at this time because we've had storms all day. My radio's off.
Jim's got the itch. He's sitting here going like, I hear FT8, I hear FT8,
It's the song of my people.
It is. Do we have anything else? We did the two-tone one, and then Jeff says the Santa Fe Amateur Radio Club Field Day, June 28th and 29th at Ensor Farm, ENSOR, Ensor Farm, and Museum Olathe, Kansas, 66062. Jeff, drop in your club's call sign or club website on the Discord and in the Nuggets channel, and then people will be able to go get it. But y'all are welcome. I just invited everybody in the continental United States and those abroad to come to your field day. So I would like to know if they do show up. Let me know, Jeff.
Nice.
So we've got about 15 minutes left.
You want to pop the box?
Yeah, I mean, I've got mine here, but I don't have a repeater programmed or anything. Do you have anything set up that would be able to work, or what do you got, or what do we need to do?
So what we would want to start to do is have you create an account online.
Okay.
You don't need necessarily repeaters programmed. If you don't know what's around you, we actually have a very seldom used map feature where we went out and scraped, all of the FCC records, which, Lord knows it's not accurate. But it'll tell you what's around in your area. So if you want to just start at boondockecho.com, I think right now you're at docs. So we just want to go to the regular boondockecho.com.
Okay.
And create an account. Maybe do that where people can't see what your password is, or use single sign-on. So sign-in's in the upper right-hand corner underneath the word ham. There you go.
Okay.
But you might want to take this off screen so you're not sharing your details.
Yeah. It is off the screen, and I can't do my single sign-on because that browser, well, maybe I can. Let me see. I prefer to do single sign-on.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, let's see if there's do we have any other questions?
We got most of them, but there might be something fresh that just came in.
No, I haven't. There's nothing fresh. We got everything that was already starred. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, while they're doing that, the basic process that we're going to go through is a little more complicated than it's going to be in the future going through. Every dock has an 8-digit passcode that is associated with it. And we were using that initially for security, right? We didn't want, at the beginning anyway, when we programmed these, which is well over a year ago, we were worried about counterfeit people coming on and joining our system, until we just, we kind of took a step back and like, we're open source. What are we doing? It's we're making life harder on ourselves. What are we doing? So what you're going to do next is give that dock power. And we've got 3 different ways that you can register. The first way is that dock is going to come online, and it's going to create an access point that you can connect to through your phone. And once you're on the phone, you could, I guess, connect to this. No, you're using your phone for hotspot, or how do you hotspot?
No, I'm on. I can do the phone thing that you're talking about.
Okay, so you get on the phone and you connect to the dock, and it'll let you look for Wi-Fi in your area, and then you connect the dock to the Wi-Fi, and it'll let you finish the registration on your phone. The second way is it'll give you audio cues as you power this thing on. It'll say, "Hello, I'm Boondock Echo, blah, blah, blah," and it'll walk you through everything. And then the third and final way is there's an SD card in the side of that Boondock. We yoink that thing out, and we load the latest version of the firmware on it, including your Wi-Fi access point and SSID and secret password.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. So we've got 3 ways to do it. Let's try the phone first because that's easiest, and we'll go from there.
So I plugged it in. Go ahead.
Well, Patrick had asked, can he use this for a community MERS network? I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Radio is radio. If you can hook your radio into it, it'll work.
You could
then
let it download FM broadcast.
Yeah. And then Aloysius, thank you, has been a member for 14 months.
Thank you.
Cool. Is it making noises?
Well, I plugged it in and it lit up, and then it unlit. And I plugged it in again and it lit up and it unlit.
It's okay. It'll turn off, but I'm wondering if our friend Tom had ever programmed this.
Tom might sound off a bit. So if I take this, let me solo me, Jim, please. If I take this and plug it in, try and do it without looking, it lights up. See the green light. And now that I'm demonstrating it,
Echo team wants to thank you for choosing Boondock Echo.
it didn't do that the
In a
last
few minutes,
4 times I
your
plugged
dock
it
will
in.
be ready to transform your two-way radio experience. For troubleshooting tips, visit boondockecho.com and join our Discord channel. On Discord, we have news, alerts, notifications, and plenty of support to help you get the best out of your Boondock Echo.
Hey, Jason.
Let's get started. Before we proceed, please create an account at www.boondockecho.com. Setup is simple. The dock will create a Wi-Fi access point. You can connect to the access point using any phone, tablet, or computer.
Somebody said
you can skip
Boondock
any
Echo.
instruction using the next button or restart by pressing.
And so it's my cable, I believe,
Okay.
because it
happens.
just rebooted again.
Okay, so we could just have a bad connection. There's 2 micro USBs on the side there. The far one is USB only or power only, and the middle one is data or power. And sometimes we use that one for troubleshooting.
www.boondockecho.com.
So she's talking again. She started over.
So if you ever want to shut it up, double click on the plus sign.
Ah, okay. She's quiet now.
She's
Thank
quiet
God.
now. Okay, so hey now.
That was my ex-wife for a second.
And I have an ESP Wi-Fi hotspot, ESP D8B615
That's it. So connect to that on your
phone.
Your phone. Password should be all lowercase Boondock.
I think that it. Oh no. Okay, so it changed. So it was that ESP hotspot, and now it says Boondock Echo 14.
Okay, so yeah,
You said all lowercase Boondock.
I believe. I hope.
I spelled that wrong. I spelled that the fireman way.
Do people have a plus button that could be double clicked? Oh, if only it were true, Jody. If only it were true. Word that it were so.
Right. So that is not the password. Should I just press star?
Press star. I was going to say that.
That is not the password. That should totally be the password. Where's my buddy Casey when I need him?
I think we should do the giveaway while you're pondering.
Do that.
Add that to the stage, but I have to remove the other one first and then add. Thank you, Jim.
Yep.
Maybe it's raspberry. Nice. We have 80 entries and 168 people watching.
I mean, it's a day. I put my. I want this.
17 foot whip is good.
Whatever we're giving away, I want it because I don't have one. Here we go.
All right. Jim was
Round
a
and
little
round she
itchy
goes.
on the trigger finger there.
Quick draw. Just ask my ex-wife.
Richie won it. Holy moly. Richie is just cashing in. Free radio, now free antenna. Congratulations, Richie.
Killing it, brother. Killing it.
Richie, I've got your contact info. I'll get your address and we'll get it mailed out. It's going out next week, not anytime soon, because I am not at a place that's got a post office anywhere nearby. But congratulations.
Right. Well, good job, Richie, man. But although if he keeps winning, I have to wonder about the how accurate all of this stuff is. Is it really random?
It's not. He's actually bribed.
Oh, okay.
Lee tried, but Lee's bribe wasn't as high as Richie's bribe was. Thank you, Lee. But
well, that's how you do it. All right, I'm going to call tech support in India, and we're going to figure this out. We'll see if he answers. Tech support never answers.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, KC, you're live on temporarily offline ham radio. Hi. Hey, we're having trouble linking to the phone. We can't remember the password, man. So we've got the Wi-Fi hotspot, and we clicked on it, and we typed in Boondock, all lowercase, and it's not working.
It should be Boondock Echo.
Boondock Echo, 2 words, no spaces, all lowercase.
All lowercase, yeah, you're right.
Okay, that's what we did wrong. It's a good thing I have tech support on Streamline. Hey, you can join us on StreamYard if you're not busy. I sent you the link.
We got about 8 minutes, but
there's 8 minutes left. That's enough time. He doesn't sound excited, guys.
I mean, he may be drinking at this point. We're good. We're good. We got the password.
I am.
Don't worry about it, Casey. Okay, we're going to take your information. We're going to go, but we missed you.
All right.
All right, buddy. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Okay, so I connected.
Yay! All right. If you see an 8-digit alphabetic code, note that down somewhere because we can always use that to connect you if things go wrong. Chris Bricker. Is Chris Bricker a person? Because he is on absolutely every ham radio stream there is. All of them.
Yes.
I was thinking it was like a Chinese robot farm or something.
No, we have met Chris Bricker, and he is real, and his dog is Atlas, and his dog is super cool.
And unfortunately, he's the kind of guy that would put ketchup on a pork chop sandwich. Thank you, Jason.
That is a major character flaw for that guy, and I've got him on the list still from the ketchup incident. Jason Lockwood, thank you for the $20 super chat.
Thank you, Jason.
Colin and VK, thank you for the assist. I appreciate you.
North 49 wants to know, do we have to run a server to use this? No, we don't. Or you can, right? Correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Either way.
Either way. You can use our servers. You can spawn your own. But I will say, though, it is outside of our Edge server, it is a pain to keep all of this running. Breaks every other Tuesday. So you might not want to. You might want to use our free version and be a little slower, or do our paid version and be a little happier. But he was only threatening to catch up. Yeah, that's what you're saying now when the world's watching, Chris.
Having met Chris and his dog, he's forgiven for the catch up because Atlas is just super cool, and I'm jealous.
Yes.
So.
So we have made it.
Yay! Okay, so now when you put in that email address that you used to register, has to be the same one. That links you. So now you're going to get the latest firmware.
That's the thing you wanted to see.
Just in case there's an issue, that is the fastest way for me to find your dock. But we shouldn't need it anymore if you're connected.
And every time I entered in data that did something useful, like when I changed it from the auto hotspot over to my Wi-Fi, it beeped at me and told me like something happened. And when I just entered in my email address, it beeped at me, and now it wants to restart. So it's going to
Beep at you.
probably beep at me again. It did. Look at that.
It
And there's
does.
the Discord link. I will copy that, and then I will drop it in the chat.
And Jason Lockwood has just become a member of the channel.
Nice.
Jason, thank you.
Yay. Our Discord is a little quiet. It's not something we are actively.
Available for your Boondock Echo. We will install it now and automatically restart your device.
Yay.
If the process doesn't complete within 3 minutes, please press and release the reset button.
You know, you pasted the words "join our Discord."
Yeah, because I copied the text and then I copied the link.
Okay.
Nice.
I am kind of busy streaming right now.
No problem.
Grace given is grace earned.
So the next thing that that we'll do, and we're pretty much done for tonight, but the next thing that we'll do is hook that up to an audio source and set the levels. One thing I will tell you, I don't know what you're planning to plug in, a radio or a scanner.
Radio.
So radio requires a little extra attenuation. So if I remember correctly, it ships for scanner. So there's a switch on the bottom side.
Yes.
And this gives us like a factor of like about, I forget what it's designed to do, like 10 or 12 decibels of attenuation. But that little switch there enables or bypasses the attenuation circuit. So we can use that to allow you to raise your audio levels for scanners or lower them for radios, because radios tend to put out speaker level, which is, to put it in broad levels, it's like 5-volt output, and a scanner is like 0.5 volt output.
Right.
So it allows you to do that. But then what we'll do is we'll set it up and we'll make it so that you can get the best audio possible, because if you get great audio coming into this thing, there's damn near nothing that it can't decode. If you have lousy coming in, there's nothing it can decode.
So I should switch that now, or I should turn it off, switch it, and turn it back on?
No, you can just plug it. You can hot plug it. There's a capped DC block, so you're not going to hurt anything.
Well, it just power cycled anyway because of the way the connection.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's also probably updating the firmware.
Not anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, not with the power out. It's not
hard power cycle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The power cycles and firmware upgrades aren't great, but we can recover if we brick it from that.
Well, it's just the SD card, right?
We're loading firmware on an EEPROM.
Oh.
So what's supposed to happen is that we're using half the EEPROM for known good firmware and half the EEPROM for the new firmware, and then we just switch the pointers. So if there is a power interrupt or whatever, it shouldn't really affect us, but power cycles do unpredictable things.
They do.
Yeah, there's also a port on there where you can plug in a little LiFePO battery right into the board, and it'll charge, and it'll maintain a battery backup on the board, so you don't have to worry about loose connections on your USB cables. And that also does quite a bit to clean up the audio as well.
So mine came with wrong camera. Mine came with the cable.
Yay!
But like Mark said, any DigiRig cable, which I also happen to have, will work. So I have that cable plugged into the adapter, plugged into this, because this has got an M connector on it, and that is a K connector. Or you can get an M connector cable from Dennis at the DigiRig guy. So it goes into radio in out, or it goes into audio in. I'm assuming radio in out.
Radio in out.
Okay, and I have flipped the switch on the back.
Yeah, and there are 3 different ways that we interconnect for transmitting. There's a switch on the side that will disable the push to talk. There is a setting in your account that you have to enable. And then there's a third one that we don't really use because we can't figure out how to get accurate records. But the third thing that we had was set up, we need to look up your license to know that you're a licensed person to be able to transmit. The trouble is that the FCC database goes down like every 5 minutes, and we never got that to work. So that one's right now bypassed. We just enable it. And thank you for Jody and Frank for providing all of those links. You guys are awesome. Lets me focus. And Chris says 20 bucks is 20 bucks. I thought kissing costs extra, but who knows? And Don, thank you. It's got to hang out with Don more. I haven't talked to him in a while. So yeah, thank you everybody who's been hanging out with us this evening. I haven't been able to comment because I can't multitask, so sorry about that. But we are around on Discord. We are around by email. We are around to try to help you out however we can. If you email us, it goes to our developers who actually know what's going on. If you Discord, I might actually have to answer your question, and we saw how that went when I gave you a password tonight. So yeah, and then there's a bunch of people who I don't recognize. So nice to meet you, new friends. So yeah.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I just transmitted to myself, which then the Boondock has lit up. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Ooh. So it will can we share your screen real quick, and if we can go over, I can spend some more time with you guys.
Yeah, and it flipped my camera.
Okay, so this is are we still connected to repeater mode? Give me a second here to just digest. Okay, we are set. We could come up with a better name, but that'll work. We picked up a current time. Although our time zone needs to be reset. It looks like your thing. Okay, so go ahead and click settings or inbox, whichever one you want.
Inbox.
All right, so what we're looking at is the on-device web page, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this will populate, and it will, once you start getting recordings coming in, it will tell you the date, and then you click on the date, and then it will give you recordings by time. Let's go back. You can go to settings, and these are some things that we're going to set the next time. Minimum record size, maximum size. So you can, that actually we're going to need to lower minimum size. Take that down to like 2 seconds or 1 second. So anything that's keying up a repeater, right? Somebody kerchunks, whatever. We don't really care about that. So by making sure that each recording that comes through is at least so many seconds long, then we can ensure that it's something we want to actually listen to.
So this won't record anything less than 2 seconds. It has to be 2 seconds or longer.
Right. So that's the setting that so when you just did that test, at the time it was set at 5 seconds, your message was
didn't record any of it.
It didn't record any of it. So go ahead and click save, and we can walk through more of these, but this is enough to get us started, I hope.
So save doesn't
give
me any indication. It didn't say that it saved.
Sorry. But let's go back and let's do a slightly longer message.
All right, let's see how well this works out. This is WRNY 996 because I'm using a GMRS radio, testing the Boondock Echo with a very long recording. Is it going to make it through? Is it going to happen? Are we going to get it recorded? Okay.
Jason, I used to be a Kilo Bravo 1 Whiskey Sierra Echo. Did you take Teach Me PCB or physics from me?
There it is.
There it is.
Thinks it's tomorrow.
It's probably still figuring out the time zone thing. But this is the device interface. This is the exciting one. Let's go over to boondockecho.com.
I'm going there.
Yep. Hang on.
There we go.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Okay, now if you click on Welcome Temporary Offline, here are your things. And we haven't enabled automatic transcriptions for you yet, so you'll have to click a transcribe audio button. And then while you're here, you're going to see something called live mode up to the right that we're going to turn on.
I see
But yeah, we haven't set up your time zones yet or anything like that. No, just you
No
mentioning it in other
transcription
streams.
found.
Oh, let's click the other ones.
Transcribe them all.
What we could have right now is that the audio settings are incompatible, so the audio levels need to be tweaked. Yeah, that's probably what we have. So if you click playback, I'm expecting it either to be really quiet or completely clipped.
I don't know if it's going to share the audio, so let me know if you
We're not
hear it or
hearing
not.
anything.
I can hear it.
Oh, that's weird. It should have picked that up. Okay.
I can hear it in my headphones.
I heard testing, 1, 2, 3. Barely,
Okay.
but I heard it. It should have picked that up. So we've got a little bit of work to do to get this going. That beeping, though, it won't be able to do anything with. It'll hallucinate.
Is this a good place to stop and then we continue next week at this point?
I think so.
Too far in the weeds? I hear, Steve, I heard it
Yeah.
clicking and I think I heard some voice, but it was...
Oh, that's hilarious. You heard the radio turning on. Listen to this.
Yeah.
Doo-doo-doo-doo. That's funny.
As a solid paper, right, Jody?
Nice.
So yeah, so we'll get the automated transcription going for you. We might have to tweak audio levels a little, but we'll get it. Yay, Dr. Pepper.
There we go.
Are you a pepper too?
Yes, sir. And I'm out. I'm dry. I'm empty.
Well, we got to fix that.
I also got to go to the bathroom.
Oh, well, go do that. So
you can play back directly on the device itself.
can.
So this is playing back directly.
Your mic is not...
Yeah,
There's something
coming,
there, but...
It's
But
coming
quiet.
through the stream audio. It's not...
Yeah.
It's a StreamYard thing.
Yeah.
But we also need to make sure you're getting proper transcriptions. And if you're not, there's something we need to address. But it'll be perfect because I'll make KC come over, and he is really the genius who makes he's the one who keeps the trains running.
I think I have a version 2, just to split hairs. But yes, you can get this for the links are in the description.
Oh,
You just need the ESP32 board, and good to go.
Yeah.
I'll be ordering that right after the stream. If I was signed into Amazon in this browser at this time, I would have already ordered it. But
At this time.
Now, the $25, I guess that's tariffs and things hitting. These boards are sometimes as cheap as $17 on Amazon.
Yeah.
So if you want to check out like Camel,
it's the difference between 17 and 25 is not worth the effort it would take me to check.
not for one. We've got customers who get more.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I'm buying one. Don't care.
Yeah, gotcha. All right.
And that $25 is because I'm not logged in and it thinks I'm in Kansas City, and people from Kansas City need to pay more. So it might be cheaper if you log in and have your own Prime account going and all that jazz.
Yeah. Well, cool, guys. They're also available on eBay. We don't get any of that money. AliExpress too. None of it comes to us,
eBay?
which is fine. Yeah.
eBay. All right.
You can get those things
Well,
all over the place.
Mark, this has been awesome. I'm thoroughly intrigued and wish we would have done this sooner, but lots of stuff to do in ham. Hobby of 1,000 hobbies. It's kind of crazy.
So, well, I'm glad you got your hands on one of these. For everybody else, there's more coming out soon. So we hope you enjoy it. We hope you build your own. It's a tinkerer's hobby. We're happy to take your money, but we're more happier to take your boss's money. So introduce us.
Tell your boss, yeah. Look at this cool thing I did. You need this. Thank you, Andy.
Yeah.
And thank you, Mark. Thank you, Jim. Great stream.
Absolutely. I don't know the reference.
I just said great stream. Just
Oh no, the
saying thank you to Jim.
Portcastinians.
Well, he was making fun of people who live in.
Oh,
Kansas.
Kansas.
My browser's auto location, even though I'm in the state of Nebraska, thinks I'm in the state of Kansas because I'm using a cellular hotspot that shouldn't be moving from place to place, but I do it anyway because I'm a hacker. And so it thinks I'm in Kansas and I'm not signed into Amazon. So it gave me my unsigned in, unlocalized price.
Gotcha. Well, then, shall we finish with this? Why, Johnny Tyler, I forgot you were there. You may go.
Yes.
Why, Johnny Tyler.
I hope I got the names right. It's been a little while.
You did. You got them right.
Woo!
Why, Johnny
Bye,
Ringo,
y'all.
you look like someone just walked over your grave.
Your grave.